So yes, we are here again at Romford, the horrific festival, the Romford Film Festival, and we've just seen a whole bunch of quirky shorts. I'll call them. I'll call them. Did you watch all of them?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really nice selection.
I particularly like Tatties. That's one of my favourites, definitely.
There was some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, but we have director Ed Willey from A Real Pair, a show that I really got into because I am a sci-fi nerd myself. I am a complete nerdly. So you struck a chord with me on this one. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into sort of directing and the industry, and why would you do it?
I chose a really interesting time to get into filmmaking, which was about a month before the pandemic hit. So not great timing on my part, but yeah, I had this kind of sudden realization that like I wanted to start making films. Shot one on my phone, and then went and did a short course at Met Film to kind of learn all the proper lingo and kind of how to do it properly. And I've done four shorts now, and worked on a bunch of shorts for other people, and
So what was it that? Because that's amazing that you literally just started before the lockdown. That's actually really cool, because a lot of the guys we have here, they've been going at it for a wee while and all that, and they're finally getting themselves there. But pandemics happened. Was it the pandemic that spurred you on to do it?
No, so it was this. I've always had this kind of niggling thing in the back of my head about wanting to do some writing.
Yeah.
So it was the beginning of 2020, and I started writing some short stories, and it was in doing that I got really frustrated because I was seeing them really visually in my head and not being able to like articulate all the detail and kind of the visualness that I was seeing, and it kind of dawned on me that maybe I should make a film instead, because I could then just show people what I was seeing. So it kind of came from a sort of want to write, and then realizing that it was kind of tangent off from that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? That is actually awesome. So, well done. So, where did the idea for this one come from? Is it a case of people like this? Because everybody kind of knows people like this. But where did the idea for A Real Pair really kind of just kick in?
So, there was no starting point. Excuse me. So we made this for last year's 48-hour film project.
Right, yeah.
So literally 7 o'clock Friday night, we get given some random genres, one of which was comedy horror. And then, we spent 5 hours writing a script, shot it the next day. I'm kind of lucky in that I know an editor in the US, so he took the footage on the Saturday night. We had a rough cut by Sunday morning, and then I kind of typed.
He was based in the US. So how does that work, like sort of remotely?
So literally, we were shooting all Saturday lunchtime. I uploaded the footage that we shot in the morning, and he starts piecing that together while we're still shooting. And overnight gets the rest of it in place. And the Sunday I kind of spend putting, doing audio and whatever else I can to finish it off. And Sunday night is done.
So you definitely went the easy way about it then, is what you're saying.
It's it's a pretty intense process. It's pretty stressful, but the thing I like about doing it in that way is like you come out of a weekend with a finished film. There's other shorts that I've worked on. Like I first AD'd on some shorts, a year, 2 years ago. They're still not finished. They kind of, it's the classic thing of they languish in kind of like post-production. So doing it this way is like you're gonna get something.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, it's it's pretty intense.
So in terms of like cast and crew, and I know you've only got 40 hours, so I'm assuming it's going to be like quite a small sort of crew. How did you go about putting that together, like those guys together, or did you already kind of have a team of people that you were like, you know what, I'm going to do this, so you're coming on board?
Totally that. It's you have to do as much prep as you can for the weekend without knowing what film you're going to make.
Yeah.
So you put a crew together. You kind of all the as many people as you can rope in, basically. The one that was tricky last year, the thing that was tricky last year was a location.
Right.
Finding a location for a film that you don't know what it is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So something that's going to be as versatile as possible.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And so the guys you've got cast, because I think they've got such wonderful chemistry, but also I don't want to do spoilers, but the lead female as well, she's brilliant. What was it that really made them want to get on board with you to make this as well?
To be fair, they're all friends of mine.
I like that.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Xena, who you mentioned, who plays the female lead, she was in. We did the 48-hour the previous year, and she was in our film for that, and she actually won for Best Actress.
Nice.
That year. So
she's great. And there's like a certain level of obviously, because when you kind of get the reveal, which I'll not do spoilers for right now, but when you kind of get the reveal of what's going on, there's just so much intensity before that just you can't help but just be like, yeah, she's awesome. Like, but what's happening here?
She's really great and like so fun to work with. Like,
and what are you like on set as a director? Are you very like hands-on, do what I tell you to do? Do you let them improvise? Do you just let them go for it?
I very much up for collaboration and like letting them bring their own things to the characters and maybe not stray from the dialogue too much, but yeah, I'm open to people playing with stuff. And
I suppose as well, you've only got 40 hours, so you've kind of got to.
Yeah, you kind of just got to get on with it. I'm very much in it for collaboration and like for everyone kind of coming together and making it the best we can as a group.
And for me, this is one of the shorts that we have in the festival. I've said a few times to a few different people that I've been doing this for a few years now with this festival, and this is the strongest lineup that we've ever had as far as I'm concerned. Like it's a really, really strong lineup. And there's a few that I've seen that the short ones that I'm kind of like, I'd like to see that expanded. Whether you did like a 40-minute or go to a feature length, would you consider expanding this?
There has been talk. I remember on the Saturday night in the taxi home, we were like, there's stuff here that this could be spun into a feature. Like there's so many questions of like not only the two guys of like who are they, where did they come from, like what's their relationship, but also obviously Crystal, like how did she get into what she's doing?
Yeah.
And the whole kind of story of that. And
well, it was the renting market, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely think you could definitely spin out the situation to be slightly longer and kind of there's definitely more that could be done with it, and we kind of
absolutely. And like I said, this is like one of those shots that if I was going to ask a director to please do something more with that story, it's you. This is one of the ones I want to see more.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
So are you actively looking and working on that, or?
I haven't actively done anything in that direction. I've got another short. I've got a couple of writing projects that I'm kind of in the middle of at the moment, but it's definitely not out of the question that I could come back to it at some point.
I like that. So things that you are working on past a real pair, like, have you got anything that you're currently really trying to push through and really trying to get on board with and sort of get made?
So there's a short that I'm writing at the moment. It's more in the kind of, it's got more of a kind of sci-fi kind of edge to it. It's if you've seen the TV show Severance,
yes,
it's kind of in that arena. Although I kind of had the idea for it a while ago, watching Severance recently, it was kind of like, I need to kind of get on and do that because it kind of fits into that kind of area of like weird kind of corporate sci-fi-ness.
Corporate sci-fi.
Yeah.
Two things that really shouldn't go together.
Yeah. Aside from that, I'm trying to write my first feature, which is a bit more serial killery, but kind of dark comedy serial killery in a kind of in the vein of something like sort of Hot Fuzz or Sightseers.
Nice.
That kind of
Well, you've got the perfect two leads because they just scream Hot Fuzz, and it's kind of like what was the other one that those guys made? The one where they actually go to the Comic-Con. Paul.
Oh,
the alien.
Yeah.
Like it kind of their relationship at the start of your short very much echoes it, and that's kind of what kind of grabbed me because I am one of those guys, like definitely.
Yeah, I am also one of those guys. So, yeah,
there's a few of us. We're getting there.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
I tend to stick slightly nerdy characters as a bit of a self-projection, I think.
Now, one of the questions that I always like to ask when we're doing this is seeing your movie up on the big screen. And every director who is very precious about all of their projects, they always are creators, all of producers, actors, directors. They will be easily pick something on the screen that they saw that they kind of go, if I just had a little bit more time. But when you were sitting there tonight and you were watching that on the big screen, what one thing stood out to you as, you know what, we smashed that. That was fantastic, and it looks great up there.
All credit to my DOP, Will, who did an amazing job on such a tight turnaround. Possibly my favourite shot in the film is the bit where she closes the door at the beginning, and there's a look that Xena gives, which is absolutely killer. I absolutely love that shot. I've got a still of it, and I love that moment.
So, money is absolutely no object. You can do whatever you want. What would you really, really just want to put on the screen?
It's kind of tanging it off in another direction again. My big budget dream project would be a magical realism western.
Wow.
That's an idea that's been percolating for a long time, but it's given the nature of it, it's very high budget. You're gonna need
a little bit of cash for that.
that would be my dream project for sure.
Right. Well, I want to say personally, thank you so much for submitting the movie to us and letting us show it, because it was one of those ones that I had because obviously we watch all the movies, and I had a certain point where I just kind of watched enough, if you know what I mean. And so I took a couple of weeks off, and when I came back to it, yours was one of the first ones. I think it was like a group of 3 shorts that really just got me so back into it. So I want to thank you for that, because you got my passion going. Your passion got my passion going. But first of all, let people know where they can find you, social media and all that good stuff, where they can find your projects, and just pimp yourself for a quick second.
Being quite new to it, I haven't got a ton of stuff online. I say I've done a few shorts so far. Vimeo.com/EdWilley. Pretty straightforward. And then my Instagram's pretty weird, Smyrny9000, if you can find me on Instagram.
I like that. Yeah. And again, for someone who only just really started plugging away at it before the pandemic, fantastic.
Thank you. Very kind. Thank you.
Super mega impressed, and keep doing what you're doing, and I hope to see more from you in the future. I hope to see more at the festival or just more out there, and I hope we get this magical western. Like, wow.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
It would be, and even if you get the next Cornetto trilogy, I'm happy with that as well. But Ed, thank you so much for doing this, and just keep touring the festivals, get people to see these movies, and I want to see more.
Thanks a lot. Thanks
of this one. Thank you so much.
Cheers.